Hi guys, so as you can see 2021's going really great. I found a new boyfriend. I know, I said I didn't want one, but Zeke, we just matched. We just clicked instantly, and I do believe he is my soulmate. Anyway, good morning. Hi. Welcome to 2021. Welcome to my channel and welcome to 2021. Today I'm going to be showing you how I take and edit my Instagram photos. Am I a professional? Absolutely squiddly dilly not. I'm very far from it. I didn't even know how to work this camera. Also, I'm lucky kind of lying to you because this is not how I normally take my Instagram photos. Normally I do a whole different thing where I get ready and then I find the location and then I set my camera up and I start recording it and then I just pose and then I'll upload the footage onto my computer and then screenshot and then send it back to my phone. You get me? But today, because I'm filming, I can't do that. And also I got a new invention. A little review. I got this phone tripod which I used for my camera but I haven't used to actually take photos yet. And it's got a little remote control which is very snazzy. The closest thing to car keys I'll be getting for a good couple years. Yeah, so we're going to be trying that out today. Not going to look like this. I'm going to go off camera and do my makeup. I just wanted to film because I'm an attention seeking bitch. But let me get ready and then let me come back and show you all my little tips and tricks and steps on how I take my very mediocre Instagram posts. They're actually really fire, I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea what I want to use as inspiration, but I'm gonna show you how I normally get inspiration in a bit. But for now, that's all for me, and I'll see you in literally 30 seconds, but for me, it will be a good 2 hours because I will be jamming out to Big Sean's new album, which is fire. Fire, okay? We all know how I feel about music. Anyway, let me come back when I'm less pale. Okay, I'm back. I've got my jewellery on, I've done my makeup, done my hair, rings are on, looking very pale, but it's fine. I have no idea what I'm actually going to take. Normally I have a rough idea of the photos that I want to take and I have inspiration already. Today we're going to be finding inspiration together. So what I like to do is when I'm just on social media, if I'm scrolling through like the homepage and I see a photo I like, or an outfit I like, for example, I take a lot of inspiration from Emma Chamberlain, Sean Lilly is a good one, who else? Or even like clothing brands like Misguided, Jaded London, they repost other people's photos, so I get a lot of inspiration from there too. But yeah, if there's like an outfit I like or a pose I like, for example, I know that I have this one from Sean Lilly saved because I want to pose like that, but we can't do that today. I just wanted to show you how I usually do that. Anyway, you go onto my Instagram and you click on the saved button and I have a whole album of pose inspo. I really recommend doing this because it saves a lot of effort and a lot of research. But yeah, as you can see, I have a lot saved. A lot of different things as well in different locations, different weather, different seasons, different settings, different outfits. Like, you get the point. From, yeah, like being on holiday to literally photo shoots in a house. Obviously I don't have Kylie Jenner's house, but you know, we can use a public bathroom. Today I'm trying to find something that I can do indoors. Like I said, I don't really have a Pinteresty like aesthetic house. We're trying to move next year, so hopefully then you'll get something. Oh, this year! Oh my god, it's 2021 now. We're trying to move this year. But for now, we're still in quarantine in this house, so I need kind of a blank space. I could do something like this, but I don't have the body for that or the location. So we're not going to do that. Yeah, I don't think I really have anything on my Instagram, but I just wanted to show you that. That is where I keep all my pose inspo. If not Instagram, then I do have a whole board on Pinterest, as you would have saw if you watched my last video. IG, which is like photos I kind of want to take, but once again they're all mostly outside. But I also just have one called Outfit Inspo, and this is what I tend to use for just my outfit ideas, but for some of them you can recreate the poses. For example, this one, I recreated this one in a video with Farah. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on there, so that's something I really recommend doing if you're trying to get into like Instagram, like good Instagram content. I recommend using Pinterest and Instagram saved. They are life-saving. I don't think I can really find anything I can actually use, so I think we're gonna have to be a bit more creative today. At least now you know my little tips and tricks. Let's work with what we've got. Let me move you so you can see my room a little bit better. Lighting is trash, but we moved. This photo that I took with Farah, that was in my house because I posted that recently. I'm not going to do another bed one, otherwise I could show you that. But yeah, had another person for that, but that's an idea if you're looking for inspo. Also, this one, I took this on my camera. I was filming, was sat down here, and then screenshotted like I said at the beginning, and I'm going to show you how I edited that one in a bit. But for now, I'm just going to show you how I take these photos. So as you can see, I have this little tiny, emphasis on the tiny corner of my room. Now, what do we do with this? Self-tapes and Instagram photos, ladies and gents. That's how we get places in life. We're going to move my fat ass fucking keyboard, which is the only reason I have arm strength. Other than Lily Sabri, I would love to thank you for that. Let's move my Christmas tree, because it is now December 3rd. No, January 3rd. Oh my lord. Wow, even the camera finds me attractive. Normally, I just make a mess of the rest of my room to get this part clear, as you can see. Doesn't really work. I think today we're going to take full advantage of Zeke here. My bae, my baby, my boy, and we're going to take photos with him, just because I got nothing else. So I'm going to set him up like I had in my How to Be a Bad Bitch video, like this, and I'm going to pose in this corner. Then like I said, I've never used this thing before. No, this thing before. I've used this before. So I don't really know how it's going to work, but we'll figure that one out together. With this thing that I've just put on, I'm going to have it facing this way so that my phone can go in like this rather than sideways. I'm also going to have my photos being taken on back camera, because if it's front camera, it flips it, it goes all funny, you know, quality's not as good. You get the point. Now I'm going to try and connect the remote to my phone. Oh, also if you're wondering where this set's from, it's from Boohoo. I'll tag them on my Instagram. Boohoo, please repost me. Thank you. Oh, okay, so it's flashing now that it's on. Took me a good 10 years to figure that out. So I'm going to set the tripod up to the size I want it, and then I'm going to figure out some poses. Now this is something I can use for my Instagram, because obviously I don't have the location that they have, but one thing I can do is go onto my saved and see how people are sitting. For example, I could sit like this, but I don't have the right height to do that. I could sit like this, I could sit like this, I could sit like this, or like this, or like this, or like this. You get my point. Even if you don't have the location that you're trying to recreate, there's always like a ton of ways to pose to spice up your photos, you know. Maybe I'll play with my hair. I think I just want my legs out, like in here, leaning back. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do something like this, and then yeah, like she's doing, play with her hair. See, look at that. I'm going to set this up and make sure I'm happy with the angle and the lighting. That's the thing. I have a ring light, but obviously a lot of people probably don't. As you can see, it's clearly not the sunniest day. Like, you don't need to see the sky to realise that I live in England. Accent probably gives it away. But yeah, it's super dark, so I tend to turn my ring light on. What I really like about this tripod is how you can adjust the angle, so it can point up, it can point down. I'm going to have this pointing slightly more down so you can get my whole outfit in. Okay, hopefully you can see well enough kind of the setup. I'm going to take a few test photos. Also, when I'm taking these, I'm going to try my best to hide this in my hand. So the good thing about taking test photos is that you can then adjust to your liking. So I liked it more when I was sat more upright. And I'm going to try face a bit more forward and less on the teddy bear. Oh, one thing I forgot to say, I will always move slightly in between each photo, because otherwise you're just going to have a million of the exact same photo. Or if you move too like drastically, then you'll look at a photo and be like, oh, like I wish my chin was just moved a little bit, or I wish I'd played with my hair, I wish my hand was in a slightly different position, or maybe you're blinking but everything else was right, you know. So if you move ever so slightly in between each photo, you're more likely to get the photo as precise as you want. Keep checking them, that's the thing. Don't just take them and then leave. Like, if you're at a location, don't just take the photos and then literally peace out, because if you don't like them, you're kind of stuck then. Whereas if you check them while you're there, you know what you want. See, in these, I'm out of shot, but like everything else is fine. So I'm just going to adjust the tripod slightly. Another thing as well, if you're not sure on the camera angle, you can't tell if it's too close or whatever, I recommend just moving back, because you can always crop the photo down. You can't zoom out once you've taken the photos. I had a bag I wanted to take photos with and I just haven't taken any photos with it. It's fine. Yeah, see, I like these. Okay, great. And you can't see the remote in my hand as well. But do you remember how I said to move slightly in between your photos just in case you were blinking or something accidentally? That is an example. But then, as you can see, the photo just before is ever so similar, but I'm not blinking. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm happy with these. Okay, so let's edit them now. Sorry if you can hear any background noise. I had to open my window because it's literally like 400 million degrees in here. That ring light makes everything so hot. Now we're on to the editing. Before I show you how I edited those photos that I actually just took, I'm going to show you how I edited this photo, which I'll put on screen now. There's a few of them. It's like a little carousel on Instagram if you want to go check it out. Because that was taken in that corner and I used a couple apps for that, which I think are really super cool. So I have the original photo. This wasn't actually the original, this was face tuned, but I'm gonna show you how I face tune when we use these photos because there's no point doing it twice. Do you know what I mean? I do the same thing every time. So yeah, I have this photo. It was pre-face tuned. Then I went into the app Prequel, which I never really tend to use, but I feel like just fitted perfectly with this photo because the background was so white and plain. Okay, so what I actually did was I went to the plus at the bottom. I selected the photo I wanted to edit. I didn't use anything on this app apart from effects, and for that one I literally tried so many. So I was editing this photo for probably 2 hours, but I found the one I liked the best was called Golden Hour. What I like about Prequel is that you have different kinds of each filter. So as you can see, there's different shadows for the Golden Hour. I think they've actually changed the Golden Hour effect since I edited that photo, so I'm going to show you on a different Golden Hour filter. I think I used Golden Hour 1 and that's how I had like the palm trees and stuff. I'm going to use Golden Hour 2 to show you how I edit it. But basically I don't like it like this. See, I don't like how grainy it's gone, so you just tap on the filter again. And I tend to turn the colour down probably to about 40. Then I play with the opacity and I turned that down a lot as well, probably to about 72. Just so that it's like a slight shadow, it's not as harsh as it was originally. Now as you can see, there's a lot of grain. Normally I add a little bit of grain to my photos, but not this much. I don't really know why it's gone this grainy, but that's a thing we can fix in the next app. So like I said, when I edited this photo I used Facetune and then Prequel, and then I went on to use VSCO. I know it's kind of excessive to use 3 apps, but like this photo turned out cool and I honestly enjoy editing photos. But if you don't, maybe like if I was to recommend one, I'd recommend VSCO, just because you can adjust like saturation, lighting. Yeah, I don't really normally tend to use Prequel. I just wanted to show you how I edited this one. So as you can see, that's all done. That's literally all I did, and then I saved that to camera roll. I'm not going to show you how I edited this photo on VSCO because like I said, I do the same thing literally on every single photo. So I'm actually going to go back to those photos we just took and show you how I Facetune and VSCO edit. But if I was to use Prequel, that is how I would use it. Sorry if that got a bit confusing. I just don't want to repeat myself too much. Back to these photos. As you can see, we took a lot. I said that in my other video. I said when you take photos you tend to take a lot of them. That's my screen recording for this video, same as this, so we're just gonna keep them in there. What I tend to do is just go through them kind of quickly and just favourite the ones I like. Also in these, as you can see, I'm out of shot, which is once again why I said don't leave the location. If you're at a location to take photos, wait and look at them, because otherwise something like this could happen. But yeah, I'll just skip through them quickly. I don't really analyse every single one of my photos, you know. I'm also not going to favourite the ones where you can see the remote because that's really bait. One thing I will say is posture in photos is super important. If you're hunched over, everything just falls forward and it doesn't look as good. Whereas if your shoulders are back and you have more of a structure to you, the photos can look really good. But in some of these some of these I'm really just slouched and it doesn't look good, so those are the ones I'll be skipping. As you can see there, I just sat up, I just moved my shoulders back because I realised that I didn't have such good posture. So now that I have the ones favorited that I liked, I'll select and delete all the ones that I didn't have favorited. Then I'll go through the ones that I favorited and I'll favourite out of those ones the ones that I'm more likely to post. So I normally tend to have about 2, 3, 4 that I like and want to post. I think I'm quite happy with these 3, honestly. Here's the thing that really pisses me off. When you post photos to Instagram, sometimes it will compress your photos so that the quality is absolutely tragic. It does it to pretty much all of mine and it's really infuriating. So I heard that you actually have to crop your photo to fit the proportion of 4:5. So what I like to do is go into Lightroom, because on camera roll, it doesn't have that option. So this is just a really extra step, kind of pointless, but I'll go into Lightroom and just crop my photos down, and then I'll do that with all 3 of them. So from that, I'm going to take these photos and I'm going to open them up in Facetune. I'll just show you me editing one of them because I do the same thing for all of them, obviously. But basically what I'll do to start off is take the whitening tool and just very briefly go over my wall, just because it's slightly yellow in some places. I don't go too heavy because it tends to pick up really quick, so I will just do it briefly. Makes it a little bit cleaner. Then I'll go ahead into the smooth tool, and if we zoom in, you can see I have a little bit of skin texture, so I'll just smooth that out a little bit. With this, you don't want to go too heavy because it's very noticeable when you see it. And I tend to smooth just under my eyebrows as well. I do have a bit of patchy tan on my hand, so we're just gonna smooth that a tad too. I also like to smooth my wall just because, as you can see in the back, it's a little bit stained and dirty, so I'll just ever so slightly smooth the wall. Then what I actually like to do is go into tones, and if my face is more tanned than my hands, I'll select picker and I'll just select like my forehead or something, and I'll very gently just brush over my hands to make them seem kind of the same colour as my face, because otherwise it looks super weird. Be careful not to get it too much around it though. Maybe erase it where it was a little bit lighter, so you've still got that dimension. Anyway, then if you can see my eyes, which you can't so much in this, normally my eyes are blue, and for some reason on camera it picks up as like a green grey sort of thing. So sometimes I'll just click in between the green and the blue, and I'll go to like the grey blue kind of tone like this, and I'll just add that like a little bit into the eye to draw more attention there. If I'm wearing eyeshadow, I do this when I'm wearing really colourful eyeshadow. I'll go in and I'll pick the colour of my eyeshadow because the camera doesn't really tend to pick it up as well. But yeah, I'll just go in with that, and then I'll just brush over the eye to make it stand out a little bit more. And as you can see, it doesn't really do too much, but it just brings more attention to the eyes, which is what I want. And then on my eyelids, it's actually lighter and the camera's made it darker. So I'll go to my nose where my highlight is, and I'll select that. And then if we go to my eyes, I'll just brush over the lid a tiny bit. If I'm unhappy with it at any point, or I think it's too strong, I'll just tap over it with the erase tool. If my teeth are showing, I'll go in with the whitening tool again, and I'll just whiten them a little bit, especially if I'm taking photos in golden hour, because if you take photos in golden hour, it makes your eyes and your teeth really yellow. So I recommend checking that one out if you do. Patch is also a tool I like to use. I don't know, say it was a selfie and there was a really big pimple on my face, like right here, I would patch over it, because if I use the smooth tool, it's gonna look super fake. But that's pretty much all I need to do for this photo. I'll just go into the details and I'll detail my eyes, my nose, my lips, and all my jewellery. And yeah, that's pretty much all I do for Facetune. As you can see, the before and after, there isn't too much different. It's just kind of enhancing my eyes a little bit, smoothing anything out, and just making the photo look better quality. I'll do the same thing I just did to that photo on the other 2 photos, but I'm not going to waste your time showing you that. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera really quick, Facetune the other 2 photos, and I'll be back to show you what I do on VSCO. So I've just edited the other 2 photos. Now we're going to go into VSCO, and I'm going to show you what I do in there. Every single photo I post, it's pretty much the exact same. Maybe the numbers will be slightly different, but for the most part, it's literally the same. So I'm going to take one of the photos I edited. Let's grab this one. Oh, that's another thing. Once I've Facetuned them, I'll then go into photos and unfavorite the originals and favorite the new ones that I Facetuned, just because then I know I'm not editing the wrong photos and I haven't wasted my time. So I'll go into VSCO and I'll select a photo and press edit. And then what I always do is turn the exposure down a little bit. I just like the effect it gives. I'll also then turn down the contrast just a tad as well. But I'll normally tend to sharpen it a little bit as well. One thing I could not do is go into saturation and just turn it up. I love the effect it gives. I wasn't screen recording. Okay, let me go back into VSCO and show you what I've actually done. Basically, I'll select the photo that I've edited. I'll go into exposure. I'll usually turn it down just a little bit like that. Contrast I'll always turn down as well. Sharpen a little bit. As you can see, like I said, it's always in the 0 point something or just above 1. I don't really tend to do loads to the photos. Turn the saturation up though, lift the shadows, leave the highlights usually. Skin tone always turn down. White balance always slightly blue, like literally ever so slightly, normally 0.4, and then ever so slightly pink, normally 0.8 to 1. And then I'll add grain about 0.8 of that as well. And that is literally it. Then that's what you get for the before and after. As you can see, it's only a little change, but it just changes the lighting more than anything. And then what you can actually do on VSCO is you can select it, press copy edits, and then click on the other two that you haven't edited and paste the edits. Now that those are saved to my photos, I'm going to go ahead and favourite one of the old ones that I have, just to show you the difference between the original photo we took and the fully edited one. That is literally it. As you can see, there's kind of a big difference, but it's mostly to do with the lighting and the detail on my face. It doesn't look fake or anything, which I like, and it looks super natural still. Obviously, to you, it probably doesn't, because now you can see the before and after. But if you were to see this on Instagram, you wouldn't think, like, oh shit, like, she's edited a lot. This is completely optional. I'm just do this because I'm extremely extra. I'll go into the app preview, and what I like to do is press the little plus in the corner. And what this is basically an app where you can arrange the order of your Instagram feed before you post it to see what it looks like in advance. So I'll go to the little plus and I'll click the carousel button because I'm going to post these as a carousel. And I'll select those three at the bottom, and then I'll just play around with how I want it to be. So these three that I've selected, I haven't posted, but these I have. The ones with the little Instagram logo at the bottom, I have. Kind of just playing around with this. See, here's where I get really picky. As you can see, I'm sitting in the car, and then I'm sitting on the teddy bear, and then the one before that I was sitting. So I don't want to post 3 in a row of sitting. But if I move this one along, I don't want to have the sittings like that. So what I think I'm going to do is actually post this one first that you haven't seen, and then this one, so it's up close. And then I might put something else here. Then what I'll do is I'll go to library again and just select something that I've used before. So as a placeholder, I'm actually going to put in this photo that I never posted, and maybe I will, but for the moment I'm probably not going to. But yeah, that's how it is. I kind of like that post there, to be honest. I took that ages ago and I never posted it. I really like this app just because if I didn't have it, my feed would be so much more of a mess. I'm not saying it's the most organised thing, but it would be super messy without it. That's what we've got for now. I feel like I look at my Instagram feed too much to notice if it's good or not. Like, it's just so engraved in my brain that it's just always a mess to me. That is pretty much it for how I edit my Instagram photos. I know it probably got a little bit confusing. I'm really sorry. I'll try my best to edit this so it makes sense. I wasn't screen recording half the time, which was really freaking annoying, but it's fine. Normally it takes me about like 20 minutes, half an hour. Depends how much I go into it, really. Sometimes it's taken me like up to an hour to edit photos, but that's just excessive. There's one app you want to download to like really get your photos looking good. I would say VSCO, just because I feel like playing with the exposure and saturation especially really helps with your photos. Anywho, that's all from me. I still have my Christmas tree up, which is really not good. What is it, like January 3rd? I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you did. Let me know if you didn't, etc. Feel free to go follow me on Instagram to check out these photos. Bro, I'm so tired. How am I so tired from freaking editing photos? Are you actually having a giggle? Anyway, I'm gonna go take a nap now, apparently, because I am 4. I am 4. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!